Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
At Willy's Wonderland, see you to Willy's Wonderland.
Well.
Wow. That'll be back in my head all over again.
All right. Let's get this fucking party started. All right, you little jerkwads. This isn't the episode you wanted, but it's the episode you're gonna get again because we already did it once and now we have to do it again. But anyway, so squeeze some butts and let's get nuts and get ready for another episode of CAGED right here on Monster Candy Podcast.
You know, it would be appropriate that the episode that we would have to record a second time would be a caged episode.
Yes,
That's because he knows. He's the one who stole your laptop, Dominic.
No,
He
it was
wanted
Nicolas
us to
Cage.
talk about him again.
Nicolas Cage
Holy
stole my
shit.
laptop. That would actually,
Oh my God. I can't believe we didn't think of this sooner.
you know, Nicolas Cage is such an unpredictable character. I would not be surprised if we turned a corner and saw him smashing my girlfriend's window and stealing my bag out of it. And I'd be like, Nicolas Cage! And he'd be just like, and then run away with my bag.
100%. I believe he did.
I would totally, if I told you guys that, you guys would be like,
I'd believe
okay,
it.
I could see that happening. Nicolas Cage could potentially get drunk on a cocaine binge and start smashing windows and stealing bags. Because
he caught wind of this Cage saga and was like, "You motherfuckers!"
Nicolas Cage
Like,
is trying to
no.
stop us from talking about Nicolas Cage.
No. I think it's the opposite. I think that he wants us to continue talking about him, and he thought this could be the final Caged, and so he was forced to steal your laptop in order for us to try to do this all over again and find new fun facts and interesting things about him, and realize that we actually have to do a Caged 4 and 5 and 6, and you know.
I'm going to be honest, this is my least favorite running joke that Monster Candy has ever had, but I guess that's it. We're going to just be doing a Cage. I thought it was going to be Rob Zombie movies, but apparently it's Nicolas Cage movies that we're going to keep returning to. God,
At least they're more varied, you know.
Yeah, I would.
He still surprises me.
Yeah, as much as it's a chore to get through these, I don't know if I could do a Rob Zombie one. Like, that's rough. Although there is a lot of material there to talk shit.
There is. I feel like it would be actually fun to do a Rob Zombie. one.
a zombie.
Here we go.
Have
I
we
mean,
done
not
a
necessarily a series, but
Have we actually done a Rob Zombie movie? I know we've talked about Rob Zombie, but have we done a Rob Zombie movie at all? Or did we do House of a Thousand Corpses?
I think we did House of a Thousand Corpses.
Man, talk about 10 pounds of sand in a 5-pound bag.
Are you for sure recording this?
I am for sure recording this.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It says recording.
It says recording. Ladies and gentlemen,
Screen.
my name is Dominic Davi. I'm here with Screamin E and Oobliette Sparks. We're back for the second time to do Willy's Wonderland. We've already talked about it once.
It's your birthday, everyone.
Birthday. Oh my God.
Party, everyone.
Birthday. Dun, 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 dun.
I had so
Clap
much.
your hands. Stomp your feet.
I've said so much about this movie already, but I think you're all going to be surprised on my take on this movie because of how I feel about Caged. After, you know what, really, I was on board with Nicolas Cage until we did what's it called?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider broke me as a person.
Yeah,
Hold on, hold on.
that's a
So
bad one.
can I say shout out to Darcy, the middle girl, because someone had just recently posted something about Ghost Rider. She was like, I actually liked it. And then we just started like me and her got in like a little meme war because I was like, ugh. And then it just went back and forth. So I mean, hey, kudos to her for putting that out there and living her truth.
I don't think she really watched it.
That movie.
I call bullshit.
You know, there's
I don't
something
know,
for
man.
everyone.
That's
I like
true.
some
You
real
seem pretty
piles of shit.
Adamant
You know?
about it.
Yeah,
Hey.
you do like some real piles of shit.
Like
No, I'm
what?
just kidding.
Dom? Name one.
Everybody does like. Everybody likes piles of shit.
Lay the trap and then an attack.
Yeah. Oh, I bet I could figure it out. There's everybody has stinkers. I like piles of shit. I've gotten in trouble with our fans over shit I've liked. That I was like, I love
like
this, and they're
actual
like, I
piles
got in
of
trouble
shit.
with my wife trying to watch this on your recommendation. I was like, I don't know, man, I loved it. So
Shout out to Al, Long Island, New York.
yeah, he got mad at me. He really actually got pissed at me. But you know, before we do Willy's Wonderland, the 2021 Nicolas Cage opus, we should talk about horror news.
Horror news.
Do we actually have her clip?
Yeah, it just played.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, I know you didn't hear it, but it
But
played.
it was
Right.
there.
It's
I
there.
heard it.
I was just making sure. The whole stolen computer. I'm like, all right, what don't we have now?
Well,
No,
we could pull it
I
out of other
stored
stuff.
I store all the old episodes on a hard drive that wasn't in the computer.
Smart man.
Yeah, so I could re-edit anything. You know, I have everything. Everything.
All right, cool. Everything.
All right, so what do we got for horror news? It's going to be different than the last time we did horror news on this episode. So
It is. I don't know what you guys have, but I would like to congratulate The Last Drive-In for winning the Fangoria Chainsaw Award for achievement in nonfiction. So shout out
Yeah.
to Joe Bob, Darcy, John, all those guys that have to do with The Last Drive-In. Congratulations, you.
very well deserved. It's nice having Joe Bob back on a screen again. So.
Yeah.
It's
This is like, I feel like the horror community is like the most cohesive it's been in a long time.
yeah.
like
I would agree.
Fangoria, you know what I mean? Fangoria is involved, Rumor, like Shudder, fuck, you know what I mean? It's awesome. And the Joe Bob's Jamboree in July at the Mahoney Theater in Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That'd
so
be
they're
cool.
doing a whole thing there, whole weekend.
You thinking of going?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's only like
Hmm.
4 hours from home.
Oh,
home.
okay. So you can use it as a visit.
Where is it at?
Is it Lehighton, Pennsylvania?
Hmm.
I think.
Interesting.
Mm.
That's
Well,
awesome.
it's not complete horror news, but I broke down and bought the Godzilla 1974 tiki mug that I said I wasn't going to buy.
Ah, you did it.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
If you're
It was
gonna,
weird. Like a lot of times I feel like I would make impulsive buys after a bottle of wine, but I haven't been drinking as much. And so I'm finding myself bored and impulsively
what?
buying
You know
more
what,
things.
Oobliette? Nobody likes a quitter. Okay. So
No, I'm not
Okay.
quitting. I was just drinking less. But it was,
saying,
I mean, I've got my giant glass of wine right now.
nice.
yes, you
But-
do.
But yeah, nothing was on TV and I'd get bored and start shopping. And then I'm like, well, I saved $25 today not drinking. So I haven't drinking in 3 days. So that's saving much more than this one mug. And if I buy the mug, then I've still saved $15. So it worked out.
economy stimulation. That's what
So
I
I saved $15 and got the Godzilla.
Man,
and
I've
that's
been
what I'm
eyeing
telling my husband when it comes in the mail.
I've been eyeing the Godzilla Tiki mug. I've been wanting to get one since we talked
That
about
blue is so cool.
it. It is really cool. I bought something at your wedding, and I didn't remember. I think I was just drunk enough, and I bought a painting
At my wedding?
at your wedding. Yeah, when I was at your wedding,
Where would you buy a painting?
I bought it online.
The brewery?
No, I bought it online.
I was
Apparently,
like, a brewery in the mountains.
Some guy in the parking lot was selling paintings. I thought
I bought one.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like,
no. I one of the nights that we were all hanging out and drinking, I think like maybe the night before, it looks like I got wasted and then got on a website saw a picture on Instagram or something and followed a path, and I bought a painting of Krampus and Santa Claus fighting in a snowy field, and Santa Claus is dragging.
No, you showed it to me.
Buddy.
No, I remember this whole thing.
I didn't remember this at all.
I remember it because you were like, "Is this cool?" I was like, "It's cool." And you were like, "Should I buy it?" And I was like, "Totally."
I didn't remember that at all.
No,
So
I
it
remember.
showed up, and I actually looked. I was like, "Did I buy this? This is sick." And it was like 3 trick-or-treaters looking out over the fight, and it's now in my room framed. And I was like, "This is a sweet ass painting." I didn't remember anything about it, and I looked at when I purchased it. It was at your wedding, and I was like, "Okay, I guess I got drunk and bought a painting."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a lot of drinking that week, so.
Yeah. So saw my best friend get married, and then bought a painting that is now a litmus test for new people I meet. If you walk in my room and go, "Oh, that's awesome," you're cool. But if you walk in and go, "What the fuck?" then I know, no. I think it's a whole lot of Christmas. But Santa Claus is very bloody in it. It's pretty sick. It's a painting by Mr. Werewolf. If anyone listening wants to go look at his stuff is awesome. But yeah, I bought one of his prints.
That's horror related. It's not current news.
No, it's not current. But I feel you.
He has a new awesome painting.
Yeah, so it's worth it. I have a bit of horror news that I actually think is interesting. That kind of shows the changing tides of things that are happening, especially on streaming. But Sony just inked a deal with Disney.
I saw that.
Yeah, and their Netflix window is closing, so now all of Sony's upcoming movies is going to Disney Plus, not Netflix, and they'll be pulling everything off of Netflix and going right back to going to Disney. I think they have like an 18-month exclusive window for some films that they've already made a deal with, but after that, it's a multi-year deal for post-pay one release window, which will make Spider-Man and other major franchises eligible to stream on Disney Plus for the first time, and then theatrical releases from 2022 to 2026 will move to Disney after their runs on Netflix. So that's actually kind of a huge deal that's kind of putting Disney in a place. It shows a couple things. It shows that Disney is not worried about putting adult content on Disney Plus. It also shows that Netflix is getting a little bit weaker in terms of grabbing some of the newer horror and just everything, like all the fantasy and stuff. Like, in fact, one of the reasons it came across my radar is that there is a Marvel vampire movie starring Jared Leto called Morbius that's slated for January 21st, 2022. And that is going to be like the kickoff movie. So it's a vampire movie. I don't know how, I mean, it really depends. I don't know how a horror vampire Marvel movie will be. It could be amazing. It could be whatever, but that's the one that starts. I mean, Jared Leto doesn't exactly make me go, that's a must see.
Oh, or that's Morbius. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But the photo that they've been passing around looks really cool, if not overly computerized. But I don't know, it's interesting because like Netflix has been such a player, but it just shows that like Disney is now leaning in harder and harder and is just going to gobble up a lot of that content. And if you remember, if anything is too burly for Disney Plus, they can always put it over on Hulu, which they now own too. So
Jesus Christ.
Right.
so
Man.
yeah, Disney's quickly gonna probably become the big streamer, and I won't be surprised if at some point there's a horror movie that we watch on Disney Plus or Hulu, most likely, because they have this exclusive. So that's just crazy.
Goddamn
That's a pretty huge deal.
Goddamn monopoly.
Disney's good at just like coming in with fists up and just taking up over stuff. I mean, they can throw money at something and it works.
So it's funny, they just like pulled some of this episode of an outdoors show they had with Army Hammer on it. But I'm wondering what they're about to do with the new Nile movie, because he's one of the main stars and it's been pushed back a year now. And I'm really curious as if they're just going to put the money down to reshoot it.
They could reshoot his scenes.
I went down a huge wormhole with that whole thing, and it's been hilarious.
Did we talk about this?
No,
No.
well,
No, we
privately,
didn't talk about
yeah.
this.
But did you see they just sold the first like art NFT that's like about sexual misconduct, and it was a woman selling all of their text messages with screenshots to each other as like a work of art.
Whoa, really? Oh my
Yeah. And hers isn't even that interesting. Like when this whole thing happened, I totally went down a wormhole just because it was so funny. Because the first time I ever saw him in anything, I think it was like the Lone Ranger, and I was like, that guy's a sociopath. And my friends kept laughing at me, and I was like, I'm telling you, there's something
Who
about
doesn't
that guy,
like
and
to
there's something
eat people, Oobliette?
wrong with him, right?
Come on.
And so when this came out, I like added all the women who were outing him on Instagram, because that's where they were posting, and started following it. And it's humorous how untouchable he thought he was.
You
And
saw
it's
and picked
hilarious.
this up on watching. Okay, I've never watched the Lone Ranger movie, even though I do kind of like the property, but I never watched those movies. It's just I didn't purposely avoid them. It's just like one of those things where you miss something that everyone's talking about at the time, or some big temple, you just don't catch it. So I never saw it, but I knew that was his big claim to fame, was that he was the Lone Ranger. But
yeah, it's funny because he had all this stuff lined up now for once in his whole fucking life, and he gets called out finally for all of his bullshit. It's funny, but he's like the quintessential. But yeah, I picked up off of it, and I didn't even watch the whole movie, but he had that total like, I came for money, can do whatever I want vibe, even in that, and couldn't
really?
act. And then I watched an interview with him, and he
Hold on,
stops
wait,
at one
wait.
point because it's what?
If you have a lot of money, you can't do anything you want.
No, you can. That's what he did for so long.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, I watched an interview with him, and his dog barks behind him, and he turns around and is like, hold on, I'm going to go kill my fucking dog. And they bleeped out the F word, and then he like screams at his dog and then continues the interview. And I was like, there's something wrong with this dude.
oh man.
But I have to say, if you're ever bored, read the stories. Even the consensual ones are like totally worth reading.
Yeah. Do you know much about this, E? Because this is a crazy story.
Yeah.
I mean, his dad, the things with his dad and his grandfather actually moved his mistress into his house, dyed her hair, got her to have surgery so she looked older, so the wife didn't know it was the mistress. The father had this chamber that was a sex throne in his house that he would lock people in. If you look at, like, there's some art forgery case, the whole fucking story of the family is just crazy, and I love every second of it.
That family
Amazing.
sounds like they know how to party.
It sounds awful.
He's
the
like, I
mom
just
is
wish I was
like-
invited over.
Yeah.
The
How do
mom's
I
like-
get an invite to that house?
The mom's like televangelist level Christian. It's like the whole thing is just so over the top, but the sister, like his aunt, is writing like, or just wrote an exposal. I kind of want to, or an expose, like autobiography. I kind of want to read it because I've already delved down this wormhole.
It's not
No,
going to
I
be a
love that
boring
shit.
story, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, like I'm all about the Rothschild and all the fucking weird old money.
All the fucking
like,
lizard people.
right? Yeah, they got the pools that are just made for like killing
Yeah.
kids and eating them, drinking their blood to stay young.
What-
Yeah,
Was
we
it
know all about that stuff, Dom.
adrenochrome or whatever?
Adrenochrome, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, Oobliette, me and you. We're
I know.
age.
We know.
What, let's go to the
Dom's like, what the fuck is going on?
This is taking a turn.
Look,
Jesus.
when E and I continue looking like we're just around 25 like we do right now for the next 40 years, you know why?
There you go.
You know why, buddy.
Bathing in blood.
You asking
Get
why I
our,
don't
get our
have
cloaks
wrinkles.
and go to
Come
the
on.
garden.
Wow.
Anyway, Dom, what other horror news do you have?
I think what other horror
Just
news
found
do I
out
have?
my two co-hosts drink children's blood.
I'm a little not sure what to say now.
I
Actually,
only
don't
buy
really have a lot.
synthetic adrenochrome. I would just like to be clear. I buy the synthetic stuff, okay, and it's legal and it's fine.
Like
I
True
don't do the
Blood.
real deal. Yeah.
Drinking.
Right.
Well, I will say that I saw something about Sam Raimi's new movie, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Apparently, he's the one directing it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be dark.
Yeah, said Elizabeth Olsen said it's a bonkers movie and it's definitely going for that horror show vibe. I don't know how serious I take Elizabeth Olsen's stance on that. I'm not exactly sure how much of a horror.
Are you kidding? She's super creepy.
I mean, that
I believe her. If it's,
super
if it's
creepy.
An Olsen and Olsen says it's creepy, it's creepy.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's creepy to them, but like, I don't know. It seems to me.
She grew up with the twins, who are like two of the creepiest people ever.
I know, but that for me, I feel like they get their Starbucks coffee wrong. That's creepy to them. Like they're like, ew, you know, they don't.
They both
seem like
married men that were like 30 years older than them and are super weird.
Yeah, those
are her sisters.
Yeah,
the level of
this
creepy
is like a horror show. Come on.
That they have probably endured over their lifetime is probably unfathomable to normal people like us.
Yeah,
so they're probably like, oh, like when they're reading a story about fucking Mr. I like to bite people and eat people. They're probably like what's the big deal? We all do
the
that.
first time I went to a Hollywood party,
right?
When I was a baby. Yeah.
You got it, dude.
Yeah, exactly. When I was in Full House and I was a baby, and Bob Saget used to prick my finger and suck on it for adrenochrome.
This keeps everything is just taking turns on this conversation. Yeah, well, the movie's due out in March of next year, and I don't know. I've always loved Sam Raimi's stuff, even
Milk and marijuana is not an addiction. I used to suck dick for coke. Now that's an addiction. You ever suck dick for coke?
No.
Half baked.
I was like, I did not catch the context of that, but that was awesome. No, that one went right over me. That totally. But
that's Bob Saget.
Yeah, no, now I know.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
it is Bob Saget.
Now I realize that.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw his stand-up, I was a teenager, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it's
Mr. Tanner.
You're like Danny Tanner. Shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Was such a nerd, and then you saw him stand up. He was so vulgar.
Filthy man.
Like Sam Kinison, you knew what you were getting. Bob Saget, that surprised me.
It's all about
That's all I got.
Zagging.
I don't have anything else.
I do have. By now, everyone probably knows about the NECA, American Werewolf in London, Nazi werewolf guys. So, but they also announced that the ultimate Universal figures that they're coming out with. So it's definitely Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, the Mummy, and Dracula. So,
wow,
so nice.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's a nice
to
lineup.
start. So I'm sure next will be the Creature and probably the Bride, all the rest of it.
Yeah, that's
yeah. You know, the Bride of Frankenstein. Dom, didn't you? You had an opinion on that movie.
I have a lot of fucking opinions on that movie. I have a lot of fucking opinions. That movie's trash. That is a trash movie.
I have to bite. Like, normally I don't bite my tongue, but the sheer amount of people that I see post about that thing in good light, like I can't even anymore. I'm like,
the last 10 minutes are great. The last 10 minutes is where the Bride of Frankenstein's in the movie. That's what's great. That's the great part of the movie. She's
People
the best part of the
post
movie.
about it because they've never fucking seen it. They see a bunch of pictures and they're online and just pretend like they've seen it and get it tattooed on them.
It's a pile of shit. But you know what? But it's a pile of shit with an absolutely amazing character. I mean, I don't know. Guys, if you want to hear me rant about this, you can hear us all rant about this on a previous episode. But like, the movie itself just gets so much love because of the character of the bride. But like, first off, real summarize, the rest of the movie is garbage. It doesn't even make any sense. And then she's like, everybody does the Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein as this couple, and like literally she wakes up, he says, "You're mine," and she's like, and he goes, "She doesn't like me, everybody dies." He's like, suddenly becomes the first incel. And so I'm just like, this is such a pile of trash that everybody worships this movie. I mean, I get to worship the bride. The bride is a sick ass character. The actress is awesome. The look is amazing. That was awesome, but she's not in the movie. So
I don't think there was a movie.
We Belong Dead. And I'm like, what? Okay.
I don't think there was a movie
How
that
romantic.
all three of us,
Yeah,
me, you, and Shotzi, have hated as much as that one.
I was surprised
Like-
you guys agreed with me on that movie. And then a bunch of people who listen to this podcast, when I've talked to them about that episode, have come up and been like, you know, they almost say it like it's a secret. Like they're like, you know, you're probably right about that movie. And I was like, I know I'm right about that movie.
Don't tell my friends because they all have bride back patches, but I
Right.
believe you. I believe
I mean, don't get
I'm
me
with
wrong.
you. I'm
You
with
know-
you in the shadows, Dom.
You know what? If people were to come up to me and go, here's a Bride of Frankenstein sticker, or here's a Bride of Frankenstein, like,
Oh,
patch,
totally.
like,
It's a cool.
it's
a great
cool.
image.
It's such a great image. I have a picture of a drawn picture from an artist at a convention who drew the Bride of Frankenstein, and it's hanging in my room. I think she's awesome, but she's not in that fucking movie at all. She's really never had a movie. I mean, not
Maybe
like
she
should.
not that character, that look, that never happened. She's
Little tiny people under glass.
yeah, little tiny people dancing around in glass. It makes no fucking Dr. Pretorius or whatever his name is. I mean, I know this movie. If anyone wants to debate me, come up and find me. Let's fucking have it out. Catch me outside. Let's talk
Catch me
about this movie.
Oh,
You know,
Dom,
here's-
Dr.
there's another thing.
Romance.
This is a thing
I'll
that
throw down.
bugs me and Shotzi. Shout out to Shotzi though, since the last episode got. Congratulations on the NXT.
Yes.
tag team belt.
Yes,
She got
we
a
gotta talk
belt.
about
You
it.
know, and
Holy
she's-
shit.
she is kicking ass, and she will be joining us soon for an
Yeah.
episode. I just talked to her yesterday.
Oh, awesome, dude! I'm so proud of her.
Right? She's fucking rad.
Yeah.
But the one thing that bugs a lot of, I think, horror fans, and they just don't want to admit it, is the whole Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. Yes, technically we know it's Frankenstein's monster, but for all intents and purposes, it's fucking Frankenstein, and you know what people are talking about.
Yeah.
Bride of Frankenstein. Now, obviously, it was meant to be a companion for the monster. But the
So
title
why
of the
isn't
movie,
Bride of Frankenstein's
is-
monster?
right?
That's some bullshit.
Right? So it's fucking Frankenstein. I'm gonna stop calling it the monster or Frankenstein's monster.
No, I always call him Frankenstein.
So I do,
Fuck-
but you know,
Fuck those elite
people-
people that try
right?
to
Like you know
talk
who the
down
fuck
on
I'm
you,
talking.
correct you. I know who
But anyway,
Dr.
yeah,
Frankenstein is.
That's
too.
that's a
Maybe- and maybe
If it
he
wasn't-
created the monster and he called the monster Frankenstein, like Frankie Jr. You know,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
full name might be Frankenstein. You don't know. You don't know.
Yes.
You belong dead.
No.
But anyway, yeah, that movie sucks. And fuck that movie.
And it could have been great. Like it had
I
the
like
pieces.
how you guys just took that bait so well.
Yeah, no, you baited it, and then I was just like, "Oh yeah, let's talk about this." You want another easy bait to get us to talk about is to talk about
Angry.
Silver
That
Bullet.
movie, honestly, it makes us mad. Anytime
Yeah.
it gets brought up, we're like, no, you know what? Fuck that movie. And that part's cool, but you know, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. The bride's cool, fuck you, we're out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, that and Silver Bullet, we get mad that because Silver Bullet for the longest time was like the least listened to episode, and we bitched about it so much its numbers went up. but like for the longest time, this crazy good little shitty but awesome werewolf movie was completely ignored. This episode, nobody was like, "What the fuck does that episode be?" The week
That made me so
episode.
mad. And
Yeah.
shout out to Time Bomb Toys, from where I got my sweet silver bullet 11x17 poster.
Oh, I saw the
For PA.
picture of you there. That was
Check
cool.
them out. Yeah, it's a cool little place.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's all the horror news I got. Oh, aside from a Creep Show, the new season started. There's 3 episodes in now.
I saw you said the first episode had some yinzer.
Oh yeah,
Powdering in it, yeah.
yes, it was very,
Check it out.
very
Yeah.
Pittsburghy. Yeah, it's way better than the first season.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's good because I only made it about halfway through the first season. That's why I haven't gotten to the second one yet. Maybe I'll just skip the second one.
yeah, it's
And
hit
revisit if I
its
want.
stride. I mean, there's 1 or 2. You know how they do like 2 episodes per episode, or stories per
Yeah.
episode. So let's see, they're up to 6 now. Like 4 out of the 6 are solid, super solid. Like the first episode, both are fucking tits. Second episode, it gets like, you know, one of them, they're both cool, but one's definitely better than the other. Same for the third episode.
I think everybody will probably know this, but like I figured maybe we should just quickly run down the Fangoria Awards, like what they were, because that's pretty big.
Yeah. Oh, and a shout out to the last drive in the new season started.
Nice. I gotta check that out. Well,
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead, read them, Dom.
All right, so it's real quick. The Fangoria 2021 Chainsaw Awards, just as our last bit of news. Best wide release movie went to The Invisible Man, which is one of E's favorites.
We have to do that.
Yeah, we do.
Because I have
The new Invisible Man?
Yeah. Best limited release movie was Color Out of Space, which I think is well deserved. That was a good movie, despite Nicolas Cage's best efforts. He's the best and worst part of that movie. We did an episode on it, and I stand by everything we said in it. Best first feature is Come to Daddy. Also agree. Best streaming premiere movie, Host. That's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid movie.
Wait, you liked Come to Daddy?
Yeah.
No. Did you see it?
I saw it.
That was the movie that when we recorded this episode last time, or maybe it was the episode before, I said Elijah Wood should never fucking make a movie again. Because that was the biggest pile of dog shit. It was
Am I
so
confusing that
disappointing.
with something?
You are confusing it, sir, because my husband will never watch horror movies with me. I convinced him to watch that.
Oh,
because
no, I
thought
haven't
it would
seen
be
this one.
campy,
I did
and I
think
thought it would be fun. And no, it was neither. It was bullshit. It
What's
tried
the
to be
movie I
funny.
was thinking
It
of?
tried to be fun, but it was not. It was pretentious horseshit.
Oh, I am.
Yeah. And if anyone has a problem, take it up to Oobliette.
Yeah, catch her outside. Catch her outside.
I'm not gonna fight anyone over it. If you like it, great. That's great. And then he can make more of those movies and you can watch them.
I
But
thought there's a different
I
movie.
just
I
have no.
got to figure out which movie I thought it was, but that would take a little bit of time. But best international movie is La Llorona. Best series is What We Do in Shadows. I definitely agree with that. That's a great series. It's so funny.
Mhm. I think
Best lead
that's one of the
performance.
Best shows out right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the character development is just good.
It's really good. I will have to say, Invisible Man really, really killed it. Elizabeth Moss got best lead performance from Invisible Man. Best supporting performance went to Clancy Brown's from the Mortuary Collection. I love Clancy Brown, and I do enjoy that movie. I don't know if that was, I would have voted for that, but he's always fun in it.
I enjoyed
I
it.
hadn't heard of that, and I watched it, and it was not like the cover and the synopsis, at least on the Plex, read like a young adult.
Yes.
Sort of like fantasy. So I put it on actually again with my husband, thinking it was gonna be like a fun mystery, like young adult thing, and it had some definite. It was not. It wasn't. That's all I have to say about
Not
that.
that for sure.
It wasn't that at all. No,
At all. And I was
that's
like,
not what it was.
I watched.
Yeah, that was different. Best director is Lee Winnell from The Invisible Man. Best screenplay, Lee Winnell for The Invisible Man. So Invisible Man's really cleaned up. Best score was Jim
People
Williams.
giving it a lot of hate, but I really like that movie.
You didn't like it. I haven't seen it.
I cannot agree. Anything.
Best score and
I
best
wouldn't
makeup goes
consider
to
a horror
Possessor.
movie though.
Definitely not. We'll do an episode on it because
Yeah.
yeah,
They have best kill goes to Invisible Man.
there were some good things I liked about it. For sure.
For a horror movie, I would give it a 1 out of
Yeah.
5.
I mean, it swept these awards, so there it is.
Well, I think because of the money they dropped into it and the
Yeah.
production value.
Fangoria
I don't think
Chainsaw Awards brought to you by Invisible Man.
I think that if Invisible Man had the same budget as any of those other ones we just talked about, other than Come to Daddy because it had a huge budget, but it was bullshit, it wouldn't have swept.
Mm-hmm.
Invisible Man to me wasn't, it shouldn't even be in the horror genre.
Possessor got best score and best makeup effects from Jim Williams and Dan Martin, respectively. And best creature effects went to Color Out of Space, Dan Martin. Which
Agree with that.
creatures were pretty awesome, especially
They were cool.
the merged one.
Yes.
That was awesome.
I need to go back and finish Possessor.
Yeah, that's another one that I haven't seen. I'm still
I
wondering
heard
which.
so many good things about it, and then I thought it would move faster. And I started watching it relatively late in the evening, but not super late, but late enough to where it was slow moving enough that I just
Right.
went to bed and haven't really felt the urge to rewatch it. But people keep telling me to, and I don't know. I feel like it's going to be in that slow burn, overthought category for me.
Right. That makes
Yes.
sense. All right. Well, I think we've covered horror news enough. I think it's time to start talking about Willy's Wonderland.
Sometimes you just want some cheesy bullshit and you don't want to slow burn and you don't want to think about it and you don't want to
Right.
relate it to life and, parallels in life and death. You just want something for what it is.
And that movie is this movie. I have to say that of all of the Caged movies, this one brought me back a little bit into the Nicolas Cage fold, which is ironic because he doesn't say a goddamn word in the movie.
But he was supposed to.
He was
right.
supposed to?
Wow.
That's right.
It's like I'm not
this
even hearing
leads-
this.
I know.
I'm hearing this for the first time. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Oobliette.
so-
What do you have to say about it?
God damn it, E. Every time you've said something, and it's been 2 or 3 or 4 times now. I don't know. I felt like you were gonna manifest something to happen that you knew you didn't want it to happen. Dom doesn't want it to happen. I don't.
No.
But maybe we do want it to happen. You've related Nick Cage
Subconscious
and
is
kind
a
of
fickle
his
thing.
and kind of his craziness to Ash of Evil Dead. And so when I was kind of looking at fun facts about this movie and some things maybe to bring to this podcast, I came across an interview with the director, and he actually based this character off of
Ash Campbell.
Yes.
Bruce Campbell
Yes.
as Ash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So I feel like we're in this timeline where this is going to happen. I don't know how we're going to get there and what's going to happen in between now and when we do get there. Hopefully it's going to be a fun ride, but for fuck's sakes, I think Nick Cage might be on his way of playing Ash.
Oh,
know,
Ash Williams.
At this point, we're so deep in the Nick Cage rabbit hole, in the quagmire that is his cinematic career, and the pain it brings. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going for it. Just let's go.
I feel like I'm ready for it too. I feel like a butterfly or like a caterpillar shedding.
Right.
Cocoon.
You're in the
like,
larva stage.
Yeah, like Nick Cage is about to come out as this beautiful
the pupal
butterfly,
stage.
and that butterfly could be Ash.
Pupa
And
stage.
I don't know. It might work, but so there are no words in this from Nick Cage, but he was supposed to have one line, and that line was supposed to be at the end in the final fight, and that line the director thought would be reminiscent of Evil Dead and really bring this to the top was Come at me, bro.
Fitting,
I kind
fitting
of
for
wish
this
they would
movie.
have done it.
But it makes so much sense because as we spoke about before, that first fight scene where he takes on the ostrich
Yeah.
is 100% the fight scene between Ash and Henrietta in Evil Dead 2, where she transforms and gets
swallow your soul, swallow your soul, swallow your soul.
So I get it, you know. But you know what?
Yeah.
As I was rewatching this movie, getting ready for the second time we had to do this, maybe third, who knows? We'll see. I mean,
This one should have definitely be able to make it to air.
The first scene, you know, the whole
Save your phone.
disabling the new victims' vehicle so they can't get out of town or whatever.
Mhm.
That reminded me of Motel Hell.
Yeah.
So I
Totally.
was curious. I'm like, I wonder if that's like a little nod to that whole deal. Because I mean, that trope, it's a horror movie trope, but I don't see it that much.
Well, and in
Whereas,
that
like,
tone too. It has that same feel.
Yeah.
Right. It's really struck me. I was like, oh shit, that's very Motel Hell-y.
I have to say, like, this time around, I read a few more of his interviews, and I'm curious to see what he does now. And it was kind of cool to read. This guy, I mean, the first movies he ever saw in the movie theater were Evil Dead and Raiders of the Lost Ark. And he's totally, I mean, he's a dork. Like, he loves all the stuff I love, and like he is so excited about just the reception of Willy's Wonderland and possibly being able to do a sequel and everything else, that it's kind of like his excitement comes off the pages when you read it. So like I hope he keeps doing stuff.
You can tell
he can keep this tone and know when to hold himself back and when to make smart decisions. He could be a really great director.
I really think the idea of I will say it. I would love to see more movies with Nicolas Cage playing this character. I actually like this character a lot. I think it's hilarious, but I think this movie doesn't take itself too serious. I definitely will. I'll say it. I want to own this movie, but I think it would be a mistake to have Willy have any of these creatures come back. I want to see this character in different scenarios and just as absurd as the last, and watch how he's like the man with no name, Clint Eastwood's character, like different movies, almost unconnected, and just see him go through this stuff.
Mad Max, the second one. So in these interviews now, he mentioned it in the first one, but in the next three I read, and even recently, now he's saying the sequel, he wants to go full Mad Max.
And like I mentioned before, I think it would be awesome if Willy was a running and recurring character in it. They had an issue in every movie, like Peter,
same thing,
and the chicken in Family Guy. That would be
no, I think so too. And the thing, I mean, they set it up for that because the whole thing is, you know, these animatronics are these kind of other characters that were pedophiles, murderers, whatever, that were like killed themselves and possessed these animatronics. So, I mean, I think that if you were clever and didn't try to like overdo it, you could really, like you said, like find ways, not necessarily the other ones, but to make Willy appear. I mean, it could be anything, and it could even be like a small part of it. Even something like totally stupid, like a fucking air freshener in a car.
Anything could work.
But it could be,
especially because they're getting possessed, you know. But it would kind of be funny if it was the weasel, just, and it, you know, wouldn't even have to be like they necessarily fought. Like he could just be in a crowd and Nicolas Cage sees him and they just look at each other.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just wink at him and that could be it. Yeah.
He's like, oh, and they like hold up a fist, like, oh, I'll get you. But
I mean, I'm on board for a cinematic universe where the people who have the souls, the animatronic animals, go one way, and Nick Cage's janitor goes another way, and somehow they meet back up eventually for an end game. You know, whatever.
I like the janitor.
The only thing that stops me from getting this movie is the fucking kids in it. Like they annoy me a lot.
Oh yeah,
I know, but they are literally, you have all the kind of
They're bait.
generic
I know,
typecasts.
but
And I
goddamn.
feel like without that, this movie wouldn't be what it was. Because
I
if you
know.
actually cared about them and they did a good job, you wouldn't want to see it. You wouldn't want it to happen the way it did, you know? I feel like they were the perfect amount of annoying, so you get so excited when they get killed. I mean, that's why I love that dumb chicken song.
You know what, Oobliette? Fuck
She's
you
right.
and your silver linings.
She's right though. I agree with her. I mean, I don't think that all the actors they picked were the best, but like, I like the main girl. I think she's a good actress, but the rest of them were pretty trash actors. But I think that they were so necessary. There had to be some hamburger to be ground up, and I like that each of them called out to horror tropes, like completely,
Right.
utterly, totally. I think that was actually, there's something to be said for certain movies that are brilliantly dumb. This is
Right.
brilliantly dumb. This was brilliantly stupid, and it's a lot of fun.
It was good. It was.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching this movie. I
Yeah,
enjoy watching it multiple times.
Same. I've watched it twice, like with volume, and then kind of 4 times now if you count when I'm watching it in the background while we're doing this stuff.
Yeah, I've
I
watched
turn
it.
around because I'm like, oh, I love this part.
I've watched it way more times than I thought I ever would. At this point, I'm like, man, all right. And part of it is because we're redoing this episode.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even after that, I watched for the first episode. I think I was up to 3 times by the time we did it.
Dude,
Going
all
out.
the songs are on Spotify.
That's really funny.
A point I brought up on the last episode, and I'm curious now. Okay, so I mentioned how creepy Nick Cage's dyed hair and beard are because it looks super unnatural. Now,
His wig, it's implants, isn't it? It looks like hair implants.
yeah, but I mean it's still real hair. Although, who knows how long ago he got that done? But in what Color Out of Space, it was more natural colored looking,
Mhm.
So I wonder if they did this on purpose to make it look weird,
Oh, I think that they like put makeup in it to make it look skeezy.
right?
Yeah.
I wonder, but it's so creepy. He needs to quit doing it. But
No, it's super creepy. I mean,
It's
the whole tone of it, everything they did. And then, like I said, even when you get into the backstory, it's so Nicolas Cage. Originally, they were going to do like a full-on showbiz or Chuck E. Cheese setup with like, mammals, a mouse, whatever. But one of the things when Nick Cage signed on, he immediately wanted it. He was the first and only person they asked because he accepted it. But one of his things with accepting it was that he really liked reptiles and amphibians. So he wanted to make sure there was like a chameleon and a crocodile and a turtle because he just felt like it would resonate better. Which is funny because when I was watching it, I didn't pick up what a lot of them were until I looked it up later and saw their names. And I was like, this is such a weird, awkward
lizard
lineup
people,
of
lizard.
animals.
yeah.
Like you have the Mexican turtle. It's weird. But but as I'm reading it, I could totally picture him saying that or telling his agent, like, yeah, man, I'll do this. But you gotta tell the director we need a turtle and a sombrero. We really need, like a chameleon. I think we need a chameleon. I think he like figured they had much bigger budget than they had because this movie they only had one copy of every suit. So when he killed them, that was it.
That's hilarious.
They said that they filmed it at like a 16 shutter per second or whatever and would shake the camera to give it natural flares because once there was a kill scene, like that was it.
They're dunzos. I like that. Some guerrilla fucking commando shit. I'm into it.
Yeah. They called it cage rage. They would tell him to get ready. No, seriously. They said they would talk to him and be like, okay, so we need cage rage and like set up the scene. And then that was the take and that's it.
Do you think he stayed in character?
Yeah.
He's pretty method.
Except for he spoke, or perhaps he wrote something and had somebody else speak for him.
Or he didn't at all and just look at him.
I think he's somewhat method. I've heard that he's pretty methody, not completely, not full on, but he's in there. You
I
know,
mean,
Punch
they
Pop.
did say that he was behind the director for every shot,
yeah.
and
so he
definitely
was-
took a very hands-on approach to the whole thing.
I know people listening are probably screaming about this, waiting for us to say this. And the last time we recorded this episode, that the lost version, we waited a while too. It is Five Nights at Freddy's. It totally is. Chris Columbus is working on
I don't
a
think
big
it
budget
is.
one. It is. It's this whole format. What happened? I'll tell you what happened, even though there's no trivia to support this. But Chris Columbus is doing Five Nights at Freddy's. They have the
I
rights and the
know.
license. That people find out about this and then immediately start greenlighting and fast funding a smaller budget version all the time. And that's what this is. They changed some stuff and they created a story, but it's Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a mobile game that is actually a great jump scare game. Kids loved it. It was huge, but
There's 6 of them, and then there's also the female version, and then the pizza party one. So
right.
there's 8 games.
But I
this
would
isn't that.
say, that despite this being a knockoff kind of version of it, like they didn't come up with this on their own and had this in the back of their heads. Like somebody knew about this video game or the movie being made of the video game and did their own version. But despite it's still
Dominic,
really great.
Are you saying that nobody ever thought that a Chuck E. Cheese scenario turned bad could be a horror movie?
I'm saying that they totally got this idea of Five Nights.
So what you're saying, this is like a Nikolai
They deny it,
Tesla,
but this is totally true.
Thomas Edison type deal. Edison Tesla thing is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
So I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's definitely, I mean, that's a kind way of putting it because it's 2 different people working on their own versions. But yeah, I mean, the idea is very similar. It's like if we didn't bring it up, people would be like, why did you mention this? But it's, yeah, it's definitely in the Five Nights at Freddy's vein. When I saw it, that's what I thought initially it was. They just didn't have the name. I didn't find out till later that there was actually a Five Nights at Freddy's
There's
movie.
a weasel and a chameleon and a turtle. Haven't you been listening to me? And
It's completely different.
But
yeah,
but
and
also
this is like a place that was good for kids, and then all of a sudden there was like a satanic ritual and they were murdering kids. Five Nights at Freddy, that's not the backstory.
No, there's definitely a different version.
There was also the Banana Splits horror movie.
Yeah.
Came out last year or 2 years ago.
I liked that, but this does it better.
Oh yeah, no, this is definitely way better. I do have a question.
Oh,
a
question.
Didn't catch it. A question
For who?
Now the punt for everybody out there.
Okay. I was feeling pressure.
I'm sure I could find the answer if I went back and watched it again. The punch pop. Now, what flavor was it? Was it cola or was it root beer? It was definitely dark. So it's going to be one of the two. I want to say it's root beer just because I think that would be what Nicolas Cage's character would be drinking.
I think it's an energy drink, isn't it? I got the impression it wasn't soda, it was an energy drink.
Yeah, I mean,
which means it could probably taste like bull piss for all I know.
I don't know. It looked dark. So I'm guessing it's one of the,
that's literally the spinach. If he's Popeye, that's his spinach, the punch.
Oubliette's on it. She's searching.
I am, because I'm wondering about that too.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about flavors. I just saw that it was I thought it was an energy drink with a lot of caffeine in it. But
no, I'm just trying to look at pictures of it to see. Oh, there's a commercial for it.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
I know
Wait, I see a picture. It says a fistful of caffeine for your kisser.
For your kisser. That's it.
I need to know the flavor.
The flavor is caged.
Yeah. Cage Rage.
Cage Rage. That's actually, they should have just called it that. They should have fucking called it that because that would have even been a perfect meta moment. Cage Rage Cola. Now I want to create a Cage Rage Cola.
Yeah. I wonder if they had that, the whole thing.
Tastes like revenge.
The Popeye.
That's the better. That's an even better slogan. Cage Rage Cola tastes like revenge. That's awesome.
They're missing.
Oubliette.
Hey,
your marketing.
Willy's
Yeah.
Wonderland Part 2. That's it.
Oh man,
Copyright
they
that
really
shit.
missed an
I'm
opportunity.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's over.
look up the director's email address and contact him and be like,
This is
"Listen,
what it
man,
should be, right?
I'm gonna help you out."
Is it cage rage?
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good point. It's very Popeye like.
Yeah, it's the
Popeye and
spinach.
So I wonder if that's what the deal was. Which brings me to the point of his scheduled punch pop break that he would take. He had timed out,
It's,
which I
I
thought
have to appreciate a
was
man with a
great.
schedule. You know,
it was great. It was a good arc in the
important.
movie. He's like, no matter what the fuck's going on, I'm doing a job, and part of the job description that I agreed to was to take a break every whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he stuck to it. I appreciate
yeah.
it.
Not to ruin it, but can we talk about how he drove away with a high school girl in his car?
That we
No,
thought,
no. We debunked that, sir.
Oh, did we? I didn't
She was
remember
old
that.
enough to drink, right?
Was she?
Yeah, because they had beer or something.
Or at least
They-
18.
Yeah, they alluded to something about
Okay.
that was making
Yeah, 'cause
making
when
it
the
seem like they
mom-
weren't in high school.
Yeah, they were college kids, or not college kids, but they were college age children. Because even then, the mom like handcuffs her. And at one point, I feel like if she was under 18, maybe. I think she was 18.
It was still a little weird.
I love that guy.
When I first saw it, I was
Speaking
like,
of, congratulations, Mr. Cage, because last
Uh-oh.
month he did marry someone just a little bit older than a teenager.
Oh, that's right. He's married now. Again.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the
Again.
5th wife. Oh yeah, Nicolas Cage has tied the knot for the 5th time. The
Dude, they
actor
keep
57 married Riko Shibata, who's 26 on February 16th.
Do they
in
keep
Las
getting younger
Vegas.
with every marriage?
And he just stays the same age.
The past
All
like
right,
3
all
he's
right,
been on
all
like
right.
he's past 3 I think have been younger Asian women.
Or is he living some sort of like alternate universe where all his wives stay the same
Like,
age,
I'm listening.
that he just ages? You know what I mean? So technically they get younger, but maybe the first time he got married, it was all right. This is the age, and he's just sticking with that age. 'Cause it's
Nicholas
Nicolas
Coppola.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I
guess
I
runs in
think
the
that
family.
I think that maybe he's just reading the room and realizing probably what age person would appreciate the things that he's currently doing and where he's at in his life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right now,
she's
to
20
me, the things he's doing are really impressive for like a 26, 27-year-old female. And the caliber of movies, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Or I don't know. Maybe there's some Benjamin Button shit going on with. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I mean, it's legal, so I can't. There's that, but
The man is having a great time in his 50s. Don't begrudge him that.
I'm
No,
not.
he's-
Hey,
is
I'm not the
did I
one
say
to throw
50s or
stones. I'm
60s?
like,
50s?
He's 57.
I'm
Yeah.
No, I mean
57, but
that's only a 30-year difference. That's fine.
Yeah, it's one whole adult.
It's just most of me, but
yeah, it's yeah, there you go. All right. Well, with that in mind, I think we've come to the point where we grade it, right?
oh no, I still got a couple things.
Oh, you got a
Yeah.
couple things.
there's
Yeah,
like a
the,
lot of shit we haven't
oh.
even talked about.
All right.
Yep.
Go.
The last pinball dance scene
Mm-hmm.
where he's just feeling it, and it's the theme song, and he's
Feeling it.
that literally completely embodies everything about Nicolas Cage.
Everything
And
about
I
what?
Nicolas Cage.
No.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I thought that scene, dare I say, brilliant.
Watch out. He's going to
Because
hear this.
I know.
You're gonna wake up and he's gonna be. You're gonna wake up and he's gonna be cuddling you. I heard what you said.
He's gonna show up dressed as Elvis, and he's gonna cuddle you.
Yeah.
He's like,
you're gonna wake up with a big gold belt buckle right up above your ass.
I mean,
no, this is E we're talking about. It'll be buckle to buckle.
Yeah, definitely buckle to buckle.
You'll see a little spark, a cling, as they click back as the two buckles hit
in the dark. In the dark, nah.
I just
I'm
picture
too old
them
for
holding
him,
hands,
so
walking away
I'm
to
not
Vegas
too worried.
together.
But yeah, man, like the funny thing is,
if there was a man that he would end up with, it would be Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
Go on.
No way.
Whoa. I think those are fighting words, dude.
Yeah, no. If it was in his prime, Sean Connery.
Oh, all right.
That dude was sexy as fuck.
There you go.
I agree. I would fight you for him.
Right.
Mhm.
See? Yeah. So yeah, definitely be Sean Connery.
In his prime.
But yeah.
Dude, Sean Connery is a fox.
He had a couple primes.
Even not in his prime.
He had a couple primes. Let's be honest.
That's what I mean. I
Sean
think
Connery
up
had
until-
multiple
yeah.
primes that worked. Just worked.
Yeah.
Like the time where he played an Egyptian in Scotland. The only Scottish actor in the movie. He played, they made him an Egyptian. That movie's another great pile of shit. Anyway,
Why not?
Okay, Highlander, for anyone wondering. Go on.
There can be only one. Yeah,
That's not a pile of shit, by the way.
I really like
that movie.
That scene. I was like, fuck yeah, finally.
Yeah, the dance.
Finally a scene that's perfect for Nick Cage. And
No, I mean,
so
I feel like they really. This is Nick Cage's movie.
They embrace the cage.
Yeah, the cage rage.
As we talked about before, there's a formula.
Here's
to
the
make
scene.
a
He's playing on right behind me.
tolerable- Right? There's a formula to make a tolerable Nick Cage movie and an even good one. And this is it. Like, it's gotta be fucking goofy. Has to be.
No, dude, I am battling with myself constantly because I have and I've always had such a fucking hatred for him. And then Mandy just reminded me of why I don't like him. But then for some reason it was like that drunk uncle feeling. Like I was like, he's not so bad, even though that movie was a pile of shit. He was kind of the best part of that movie. Maybe I don't hate him, but I'm not going to watch any of his other movies. Then Color of Space, I was like, I like this, given he's, not really, he could be not in that movie and it would still be just as good. But now this son of a bitch comes out and I think I'm starting to like Nick Cage and I'm wondering what he's going to do next. And that's not me. I don't know what happened to me. I can't even look at myself in the fucking mirror anymore because I've watched
It's not just you.
Four fucking times now.
He's doing it to everybody. It's like he's like the human version, or at least the physical version of the Rona. He's just spreading through everyone like fucking wildfire. So
no,
it's
like I wanted to just it's
But-
just hard to sleep and I'm trying to deal with this right now.
I try to focus on the
sweats.
ones I did like about his movies. Like I've always liked him in Raising Arizona. I always liked him in Moonstruck. I always liked
Raising
him.
Arizona because I felt like he was playing himself.
I
think that's Nick Cage. I like him when he's playing.
I now know that he
ridiculous
is.
person because he is. Yeah.
Wild at Heart was kind of fun.
I did not like leaving.
Leaving Las Vegas. Yeah, no.
Yeah. It got weird in the late 90s or mid to late 90s and the early
Con
2000s.
Air
It was,
and The
like,
Rock.
really trying to be like a fucking action hero.
Face Off, City of Angels, Snake Eyes, 8mm, Bringing Out the Dead.
Hey,
8mm wasn't bad though.
8mm, I loved that movie.
That movie was fun.
Yeah,
I liked
And
Gone
was
in 60
surprised.
Seconds too.
It has like a 10% or something Rotten Tomatoes rating.
Gone
No,
in
that
60
movie was
Seconds. His Gone in
thought that was
60
good.
Seconds was kind of fun. I thought that was kind of a fun movie.
He was the worst part of that.
Yeah, maybe it was.
I like Gone in 60 Seconds because I like silly fucking action movies. But he could have not been in that and it would have been fine.
Lord of War was a great movie, which blows me away that he went from that to the very next year doing Ghost Rider. So
yeah.
I find that crazy because
Movie is so bad.
yeah,
It
Lord of
sucks.
War.
Like
is-
I like movies like Snake Eyes and Con Air and stuff like that. I just don't like him in those movies.
Right.
I want to see like Dolph Lundgren. I want to see,
Right.
you know, those sorts of guys. And when he tried to fit into that, I was like, you know,
And he's still
you
being
need
Nick Cage.
you need to play a
like-
weirdo like you are. And
Yeah.
this Willy's Wonderland, he kicks a bunch of ass, but he plays, you know, a fucking
This is the
himself.
character
Himself.
he's always wanted to play for sure. And you
Yeah.
know what? The thing that worries me about him playing Ash Williams is that I do believe that Bruce Campbell and the Rammies would totally go for it. They'd be like, "Are you serious? You want to do this? Let's fucking do it." Because you know they'd just be like, "That's so crazy. Let's just do it." But
Well, you know what's funny? One of the interviews, the director said that he wanted to reach out to Sam Raimi to see if they could do a mashup where Ash and this guy meet.
okay, that I'd be into. But you got to get Bruce Campbell out of retirement. Doesn't he swear up and down he's not going to do Ash again? Like
Yeah.
that the series was it. That was the end of it. He wasn't want to do it. He didn't want to do. He doesn't want to be beaten up like that. He's like, I'm an old man. I don't want to do this anymore.
I mean, never say never. We've all said we wouldn't do anything again, and we did it.
You throw enough money at him, I'm sure he'd
Yeah,
reconsider.
I mean, butt stuff. We're always like, no, I'm not doing the butt stuff anymore. You know, and there we are.
No, I don't.
doing the butt stuff.
I think you hit upon his last hangout with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Buckle to buckle.
I'm trying to manifest some cage rage in my butthole.
I feel like Dom needs to draw E and Nick Cage buckle to buckle in white Elvis suits.
Dude, that would be amazing.
yeah.
Both would
That'd
be like
That
porny.
would be the best
Dude.
T-shirt ever.
I could
funny
totally do
story.
that.
Funny story. While I was still living back home in Pittsburgh, right?
Just a wee lad.
Me and my old drummer that moved out here with us decided to call off work, and we were like, dude, let's just fucking drive down to Grayson. We had already been there before once, but we're like, dude, let's just fucking go. Because it was, forget which anniversary, but it was Death Week. Elvis's, you know. So we drove down, you know, for August 16th, and we got down there the night, that day actually. Maybe the day before. But anyway, we were down there. And that was the year Nicolas Cage was there with Lisa Marie, 'cause that's when they got married.
Huh?
So it was him.
So maybe you guys
So,
did touch buckles.
I don't know, because we got down there, we walked around for a little bit,
I'm sure
the
you
hotel room,
partied. Yeah.
and we passed the fuck out for like 8 hours, and woke up at like 10 o'clock at night. So just in time for the candlelight vigil. So who knows?
Who knows what happened while you were sleeping?
Who fucking knows? But
I wouldn't
yeah,
put
so, I
anything
mean,
past Nicolas Cage.
No. He stole the
Gets-
Declaration.
That's
of
what I've learned.
Independence.
That's what I've learned of doing Caged is you don't put anything past Nicolas Cage.
You do not. I do, however, want to say that Freebird should never be used in the movie again. I said that on the last episode of this that we did that disappeared.
It's been
But
used
it's
a lot.
always
Even-
gonna be.
Even in a comedic way, for comedic purposes, I hate that song. Like I hate it so much, and it's so fitting that it would be in a fucking Nicolas Cage movie. Like, oh, here we go. But,
Oh, this bird you cannot change.
Wow.
give me 3 steps.
Tsunami Bomb should cover this and play with the
That's-
Memphis
that's-
Mermen.
That's the song.
No.
We'll cover it just for E.
As,
Oh my
as
God.
someone who has lived in certain parts of the US that were I'm not going to go there. As someone who's been in some shady bars and had to listen to this song on repeat, I can do
Can't-
without hearing
can't-
it again.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, it's been played out.
Freebird can't do it.
But I
Any
won't lie,
love?
the Florida in me occasionally, if I listen to it at the wrong time, I'll get a little teary eyed.
Ah.
The Florida in you. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Three Steps. Three Steps is a good song. That's it. There's like
a little
one
too happy
one
for me.
Skinner.
A little too happy
But it's
for me.
Give me 3 steps for the door.
Right.
Give me 3
It's kind of,
steps.
it's like adult. It's about
And
adult.
you'll never hear me no more.
Getting
God,
chased out by some-
how do I know all the lyrics to Leonard Skinner songs?
Yeah,
I don't have
know
any
all
Florida
that.
in me. I'm Californian, so I don't know how that
I
happened.
bet your daddy listened to Skinner.
Well,
He
I
did.
mean,
He did.
Yeah,
Petaluma.
I was gonna say that's
That's
why.
That's getting
Yeah.
up there. That's getting more.
Hello,
more
out of the
rural.
sticks.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Well, he had a bike. His dad's a biker. He listened to
That's true.
Skinner.
My dad is a biker. So
it is as much as I'm praising this movie, even more so than the last episode. After rewatching it, my score actually went down.
really, you changed your score. Okay, so what's your
changed
score?
my score.
I think it's time.
So-
it is time.
First off, I'm gonna say Shotzi gave it a 2.5. She is not into the cage.
Boo.
Thought it was entertaining, but which is why she's not doing this episode. She's like, I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk
Like,
about
all right, fair enough. And she's busy kicking ass anyway. But so hers was a 2.5. I think the first run of this episode, I gave it like a 3.25. I'm gonna drop it down to a 3 because the kids annoyed me so much. After rewatching it, I don't know, 17 times now, or however many fucking times I've watched it. I'm like, these kids suck. Like, just the actors, like, I'm not into it.
But they get
So I had to
killed.
drop it down. They do, but they're in it for so much of the movie. I'm like, kills me.
But the music, the songs.
Music, the music is great, but the kids were terrible and they annoy me.
I'm giving it.
So-
Yeah,
So it
I feel you.
3.
A 3.
A 3. I gave it 3 cute animatronic zombie satanically possessed candy. So 3.
I'm tempted to raise my score after seeing it
I
again.
feel like I'm gonna raise it.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
think
If
This
we
is
should
some
do this a
bullshit.
third time. And see if the scores
I think I
change.
gave it a 3 last time. And
I think so.
now I'm up to like it's like 3.5 to 4.
I'm doing 4.
Oh,
Yeah, because
Fuck you guys. I'm
really
doing
like
4.
it. You're doing 4? she's flipping us off right now for those who can't see it.
Okay.
I do like
And
it.
this is-
It's not. I don't disagree because I think eventually I will end up ruining this movie. So I'm
Yeah, I
not
do a 4.
saying.
I think I'm
That's
going to a
great.
4. I think
I
I'm
mean-
raising it. It's just smartly stupid or stupidly smart. I don't know.
For
It's
what it's trying to be, honestly, it's almost like a 4.5. Like,
Oh, see,
Fuck.
I can't.
but I'm not.
Get-
But listen, I wouldn't compare this to something that's like cinematic gold. But like for what they were trying to do and rating it on what they were going for, and probably the budget they had. Holy shit! Yeah, give it a 4.
I mean, I put it next
Yeah.
to
They had
to
one
Army of
suit,
Darkness.
one suit for each of those animatronics.
Yeah, that
That's
was
one
it. That's
fucking
all they
take,
had.
Or they didn't have the money to fix it.
I'd put it next
is
to Tucker
commendable.
and Dale
It's given-
versus Evil. I'd put it next to
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead. I'd put it next
Ooh,
to
see, I-
it's just but in terms of funny, ridiculous,
I
but
enjoy
awesome.
it and agree with those points. But yeah, that's good. That's
no, I-
starting to get into.
I love how your score went down and our scores went up.
Yeah, I'm like, because I'm looking at it. Standard is the standard.
I mean,
So,
it brought me
4
back.
and 5s are like getting up into Silver Bullet, the Monster Squad. Like it's getting up there. I'm like, ooh.
See,
or
I don't
like
look
The
at it like that.
Thing, You know, that's how
No.
I
Yeah,
scale it all. I'm all
I
about
get you.
quality.
I get you. I don't go there though. For me, it's like I
Okay.
have to judge it within the realm, in the lane that it lives in, especially since the movie knows its lane. It's not trying to be more than it is. Every weird, like all of the teenagers, they were like wink wink, nudge nudge, see what we're doing here. Like all of it's like the whole time it's like doing one of those. And I have to say it's
Yeah.
right
And
there.
you can't compare a different kind of like what you're saying. That would be like saying you judge Schindler's List the same way you judge Dead Heat.
Maybe he does.
Oh, see, my standards have changed based upon if we were just doing it as a movie, but as a horror movie, I'm like the goddamn Navy SEALs, man. Like, there's the bar, and that's the standard for everybody.
Same, but
Everyone
as
gets-
a horror movie, like in this genre of horror, it checks all the boxes.
It's a black comedy. It's
got
I judge 'em
annoying
all
kids
on
that
the
get
same
murdered.
scale.
It's got good fight scenes,
it has
and it's
everything.
got a silly backstory.
It has everything. Nicolas Cage not saying a word. Kids that are annoying but die. A sheriff that doesn't know what she's doing.
I'm sticking to my standard scale for all the horror movies.
Little chickens at the end of the line.
How could you give this a 3?
Easy.
Couple of hits. Come on, everybody.
This is awesome.
Come on now.
It's good.
Weasel.
It's good, but
That's awesome.
So good.
The songs are really good in this. I think with that, we've come to the end.
Whoa.
whoa. Well,
Oh,
no, we didn't get a
shit, that
definitive
was the death
definitive
anthem started
rating
playing.
from Oubliette.
Oh yeah, she gave it a 4.
And then she said, "You're going saying hard 4,
Hard
and you're
4.
shying away from your maybe even 4.5."
I was just saying that to ruffle your feathers, sir.
6 little chickens at the end of the line. Yeah, man, the songs alone, like you could tell this was a labor of love, and I had even more fun the second time. So
I learned how to
I'm
play a
good.
few of the songs on my keyboard. I almost recorded covers of these to play for this episode. But
You should have.
Well, you can save that for the next time we do this episode.
The next time, yeah.
for
The
Willy's
third.
Wonderland Part 3.
All right, guys, ladies and
Very
gentlemen,
looking
that
forward
is
to
our
it.
episode on Willy's Wonderland. It looks like it's getting a solid, I think if you split the difference, it's a solid 3.5 to 375, 2 4s and a 3. So that's pretty solid.
4 plus 4 plus 3 divided by 3. What the fuck just happened? Hold on.
I don't know if that's how you find the average.
That's a 3.66.
3.66.
What do you mean? That's not how you find an average. You add them all,
That's
then
exactly how
divide
you
by the
find it.
number
That's
of
exactly
the
how you
fucking
find the
people.
average. Okay, that's
And
fair.
Dominic should not do math.
Dominic does not do math. Dominic draws.
I'll
Okay.
remember that when our royalties emails come in.
I use calculators for that, and I don't find the average for our royalties. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an episode of Monster Candy Podcast with Screamin E, myself, Dominic Davi, and Oobliette Sparks. Shotzi Blackheart will be with us again soon, and there you go, man. I actually have let Nicolas Cage back into my heart over this movie,
Same.
so.
Taking care of butts, baby.
And hopefully we won't need to do this episode a third time.
Then next time the score will go down because I'm just gonna get annoyed.
Yeah, I'll just be done with this movie.
Mine might
Thank
go
you all
up.
for listening. We'll definitely see you next time. And come at me, bro.
Deuces.
Groovy.
Six little chickens at the end of the line. Six little chickens at the end of the line. One happy weasel says it's dinner time. Six little chickens gonna be just fine. Six little chickens in the weasel's den. Four little roosters and a couple of hens. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Six little chickens at the end of the line. Six little chickens, watch out now. Six little chickens, here comes the weasel. Six little chickens running out of time. Whoops. Five little chickens at the end of the line.
You've been listening to Monster Candy Podcast. If you want to find out more about the show, find us on the web at monstercandypodcast.com. We should have a brand new site there soon. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram just by searching Monster Candy Podcast. You can find us on Twitter by looking up Monster CNDYPC. Again, couldn't get Monster Candy Podcast on Twitter, so that's the best we could do. If you want to know more about Shotzi Blackheart, check her out on Instagram at Shotzi Blackheart. You can also find her on Twitter at Shotzi WWE. That's SHOTZIWWE. Follow along on her adventures when she's not on the show. You can find out more about Screamin E and his band, the Memphis Murdermen, on their Facebook page. Just look up TMMM official page. You can find him on Instagram under Screamin E. That's Screamin with no G, add an E. If you want to find out more about Oobliette Sparks and myself, you can find our band at tsunamibomb.net, or you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook just by looking up Tsunami Bomb. You can also find my artwork at dominicdavi.com, and you can follow my other podcast at 3gigspodcast.com, or you can find it just by searching 3 Gigs Podcast on this very platform. We hope to hear from you. Drop us a line and let us know what you'd like us to review in the future, what you'd like us to check out. I can promise at least half the cast would be willing to hear your suggestions, and the other half probably won't care, but I'll let you guess which is which. See you next time.
Suck my peanuts.